Who and what you are is beyond anything you could ever evaluate. You can't possibly know the value of the people around you, the people who travel life with you. They're divine beings just as you are. So it makes no sense judging anyone. We have to awaken, or we don't have to do anything, but I invite you to awaken to the idea that you are individualizations of God itself, and so is everyone else that you travel the world with. Try not to judge anybody, because you can't possibly understand their value, their worth, their greatness. Most of us haven't known that most of our lives. Some of you will reject it. It happens. And some of you will walk away from this information because you're not ready to hear it. But you'll hear it, and it will be a catalyst that you might come back to 6 months or 6 years from now. Because their sense of self is really, really, really low, and they're really down on themselves, and they think that who they are and what they are. They think they're the only ones that have ever made a mistake, or the only ones that ever made a grievous mistake. Many of us have been raised in families, and we weren't nurtured to know how precious and wonderful we are. We heard a lot of wrong, and we heard a lot of scarcity, and we heard a lot of things that really probably weren't that great. But the thing to understand about all that, as you hear me say often, is the people who raised us were doing the best they could with the information, the understanding, and the awareness that they had. So eventually we come to a place, hopefully, of compassion for self, which will extend to others. So the work we do, our work is to keep working with this consciousness. It's a process. We are all that, potentially. If we rid this negativity and these patterns, these old tapes, these old things that we always seem to bring into our present days. There was hope. We had hope that we would be saved, and we had a faith that there was a God somewhere that would provide for us. And I'm here to tell you, the universe will provide. The universe does provide. I ask you all, are you doing the work? Are you training your mind and your thoughts to see the good, the God, which is everywhere present? We're each creating our own experience. The thing I want you to understand from this is, whatever the challenge that we're having, it's only a series of thoughts that we're having. And thoughts can definitely be changed. You don't have to live in bondage to your thinking, but to be free of it, you have to be willing to think in a new way. So that's the work. And you know, we have all these attachments, right? And the attachments, I want him, her, I want things to be a certain way. I want. And you know, that kind of thinking is just going to bring forth a lot of pain. Increasingly, we learn, as Louise would have advocated, to trust the process of life. And everything that's in our life is there to lift us up.